We did an entire squad with a perfect potential with the worst hidden attributes, and it was an absolute travesty for Forest Green. Well, today, it's time for redemption. It's the perfect squad, attribute-wise, frozen, but still the worst hidden attributes. Will he fare any better? Here we go then, Forest Green in League 1, 200 out of 200. All the players have got max ability, and as promised, the worst hidden attributes going. 20 for controversy, 20 for dirtiness. Of course, injury proneness at 1. Boring if they all get injured all the time, isn't it? Sorry as well, if the audio is a bit off today. There is an absolute shed load of roadworks going, literally digging up the road outside my house. But today's the only time I can get this video recorded, so let's just hope it sounds alright. Of course, the season preview is 91 to 1 on, and as you can see, they are littered throughout the Media Dream 11. Of course, there is no right and left midfielders in this squad, so the right and left midfielders in this 4-4-2 are taken up by other teams. But Forest Green will be getting promoted almost certainly in this first season, and in subsequent seasons. I expect them to get into the Premier League. Will they win the league, though? That is the question. Right, 1 year into the future. Let's go. And of course they did win the league. 46 games played, 46 wins, 1 goal conceded. Only 199 goals scored, which you might say 199, that's a lot of goals. But with 46 games, perfect squad. I'm disappointed at that. I'm very disappointed at that. I mean, lots of 4-0s, lots of 5-0, 6-0, a 1-0 here against Plymouth. I mean, they did go down. How many? They went down to 1, 2, 3 players sent off, a goalkeeper and 2 centre-backs. Oh, we can't go and see. You can't go and see the details for that fixture. Look at this. Look how many red cards they've got. Look, hang about. Hang about. I've got to sigh through. Right, red card in the opening game of the season. 2 red cards in the second game. Red card there. 2 red cards. A red card. A red card. Now, how many games this season did they not have a red? There we go. The first game was Shrewsbury. 3rd of September. They did not get a player sent off. Oh, back-to-back games. Made up for it with 2 off against Charlton, 3 off against Northampton. But how many red cards? 3. 14-0 against Southampton, under 21s. Went down to 10 men. That's a lot of red cards. A lot of red cards. 26 goals and 21 assists for Forest Green Winger 4 as Player of the Year. The top goal scorer was Forest Green Striker 3 with 32. I'll be honest with you, 26 for Forest Green Winger 4 and 20 for Forest Green Winger 2. So the top 3 was taken up by Forest Green. They did share the goals around a lot, but again, I expected more. I did expect more. And they're in the Championship, and of course it's 91 to 1. Oh, hang on. They're in the Europa League. They won a trophy. They won the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. They've won the Carabao Cup, beating Man City in the final. We're just looking at the schedule. They were 4-0 in the final against Man City, and a lot of yellow cards and a red card. Of course, they went down to 10 men. And then the FA Cup final, they beat Leeds 4-0. Leeds get into the FA Cup final. Fair play, Leeds. There you go. So, yeah, they've got Europa League football in the Championship. Well, we're going through one more season then. And of course, they did it. They did do it. 46 games, 46 wins, 185 goals for. Only 7 against, 138 points out of 138. Forest Green did fantastically well. And they've won the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup again. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a bit of a whitewash. They're going to win the Premier League, aren't they, next season? Almost certainly. Not mentioned it at the start of the video. Apologies. If anyone's wondering, they've got a transfer ban, so they can't bring anybody in. And of course, all the players do have a transfer joining Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. They're all on international duty with England. Fair enough. Duncan Ferguson's got a fantastic record in charge of Forest Green. 142 games played, 141 games won. He's only lost the 1 game. Well, who was that against? They lost to Monaco in the Europa League final. They were 2-1 down before they went down to 10 men. The Forest Green goalkeeper getting a 5.4. It's because he had 3 shots on target. 3 shots, 3 on target, and they won 3-1. Deary me. They didn't win the Europa League. Well, there we go then. Maybe it's not going to be a formality. In terms of the Premier League then, the Premier Division, I really hope you can't hear all this beeping that's going on outside. I hope this mic's not picking it up. If it is, it is. Well, look at this then. Central midfielder, Phil Foden's managed to snag himself a place when you've actually got players that are full max attributes on everything. Work that one out. Erling Haaland as well up there. Bernardo Silva on the right. Anyway, some of the players have been retrained slightly in different positions. I don't know why. Got enough players to sort it all out. But anyway, it is what it is. So, first season in the Premier League then. Let's fly through. Okay, so they did lose twice and drew once, but they have won the league, have Forest Green. They lost to Brentford and Tottenham, drawing to Brighton, winning by an absolute landslide. And yeah, again, it's a three-peat, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, back-to-back seasons. And in terms of the Europa League, they got knocked out to Benfica. They lost 3-0 at home, winning 2-1 away, getting knocked out in the semi-final. Disappointing. Well, they've not won a European trophy yet. Domestically, though, they're all over it. Gareth Southgate's still in charge of England, and they've just won the Euros. Yes, they have, in 2024. That was last summer. Beat France in the final. Forest Green winger 2 with the Forest Green winger 3 sent off after 24 minutes. Of course there was red cards. Of course there's been red cards. Not as many as you would think, considering we've seen how many. There we go, 2 sent off in the opening game against Belgium. Yeah. In terms of the Premier Division, history, records. The worst team discipline was at Forest Green. 222 yellow cards. 45 red cards in 69 red cards in the season in the Championship. Nice. 60. Okay, we're going to come back and look at this team discipline a little bit more. And of course, that is the worst discipline of any team ever in the division. Now I've got a dog barking downstairs. It's like they don't want this video to be recorded today, but I will power through. But as well as the discipline, we have also got Forest Green with the most league wins and the most points in a season. So going forward, I'm expecting them to just dominate the leagues now. It'll be interesting to see if they don't win Premier League trophy at any point. Well, we're not going to stop in every season. We are going to rattle through this a bit quicker. So we're going to go through 5 more years to 2030 and see how things are moving on. And they've won the Premier League every single season. A perfect sweep. 38 wins out of 38 games in the second season. They did it. 2 draws the following year against Man City and Aston Villa. 2 draws and defeat. Man United taking the victory there, and Arsenal and City getting the draws. 3 draws this one. Stoke, Middlesbrough, Southampton, all 2-2. 3-2 against Tottenham, they lost. 29-30, it was a defeat against Arsenal and a draw against Chelsea, should I say. Here we go. Looking at the records then, in terms of teams, we are going to look at most key team goals, all Forest Green, of course. Worst team discipline. And we've got 50 red cards and 221 yellow cards in the 2026-2027 season. The most yellow cards we've received is 242. That's insane, isn't it? With 48 red cards. In the FA Cup, well, Man City won the FA Cup in 26-27, but Forest Green have won it every other year. The Carabao Cup has been won by Forest Green every single time. And they never won the Europa League, but they managed to win the Champions League 4 seasons in a row, beating Liverpool, Milan, Madrid, and then Liverpool again. Well, yeah, this is a formality now, isn't it? Forest Green are probably going to just absolutely walk away with it every single season. So should we just go through to the end, 2045, and see what's happened over the course of their careers? And then we will check in on a few other ins and outs, a few other bits and bobs. We are going to go forward as well, see how they manage to fare once all the players get sold. So yeah, let's go through to 2045. In terms of the past winners, it has been Forest Green every single season. So if we look at the profile and we go back to where were we, 2030, 31. So yeah, there we go. Again, just absolutely annihilating. Some undefeated seasons, quite a few undefeated seasons to be fair. Almost a perfect season again there. Lost 2-1 to Stoke. And there they are, Forest Green. Duncan Ferguson's the second most successful manager in history. Pep is the most successful manager in history. He was in charge of England for a little bit and decided he wanted to go and have a little bit. Adam Lafondra is now in charge. The World Cup, of course, England have won it all times in a row. 2042, Belgium won it, so maybe some of their players had retired. I guess definitely have, because Germany in 2040 won the Euros, and then Wales in 2044, beating Belgium in the final. Interesting stuff. And if we look over Forest Green, as you can see, 21 Premier League titles, 21 in a row that'll be. 23 Carabao Cups. So they've won the Carabao Cup every single season. 3 times they failed to win the FA Cup. Newcastle and Leeds taking an FA Cup in this experiment. And in terms of Champions Leagues, well, it's been 19 in a row. I honestly thought we'd have a lot less utter domination. I know it's the perfect team, but they've got the worst hidden attributes. I thought the worst hidden attributes would really handcuff them and hinder them. Maybe they just are too good. Maybe we should have them just 200 ability, not perfect stats, and have them being able to be like not frozen so they can go down with poor performances and stuff. Maybe that's the spin-off to this 3-part series that we're doing with Forest Green now. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll go next. We'll look at the Ballon d'Ors, see who's won them. It's just all been Forest Green players. Oh, it's not actually. In the 2020s, Erling Haaland was dominating for Man City in Football of the Year. The Golden Ball, again, it's actually not been as dominant as you would have thought. Players from other teams are winning it quite often. Interesting. Did not expect that. I did not expect that at all. It is what it is. So they're all off to Al Nassr or somewhere in Saudi Arabia. Let's jump through to where we've simmed up to, because I left it running, and see how Forest Green have fared in the years after. Let's see if Pep got sacked as well. That'll be funny. Now, we've come further than we ever have before in one of these. We're at 2077, and I'll tell you why. Because I left it simming when I went to bed. I went to bed very early. So, Forest Green are currently just qualified for the Europa League. So they've won a trophy, finishing 11th. In 2044-45, and they've never won the trophy since. In terms of managers then, they've had a lot of managers. Pep Guardiola, he retired from management in 2045. Pep saw the writing was on the wall, and Sami Šmodić got sacked after 113 days. Understandably so, because they'd have probably been dead bottom. And they've had a lot of manager turnover. In terms of competitions then, the domestic leagues, 2040-46, they actually finished 19th in the league and went to the Championship. They came straight back up, and they survived a few seasons before going back down, then bouncing straight back up as champions. And then they've maintained themselves as a mid-table Premier League side ever since. And they've won some FA Cups. They've won the most recent FA Cup against Sheffield United. They won in 65-66, the 2 FA Cups, and the stranglehold on the Carabao Cup was lifted. They did get to the Carabao Cup final against Arsenal in 48-49 and missing out, as well as 59-60. Arsenal have had a very good time of it, as have Sheffield United, who've also won a Champions League in 2066. Sheffield United, someone at Sports Interactive must support them, because they always seem to just thrive in simulations and do really well. 19 Champions Leagues then, no more Champions Leagues, of course, since all the players left. You wouldn't expect anything different. They've actually got to the Europa League final a few times and missed out. Disappointing for them. Have they managed to sneak a Conference League? They have. In 63-64, they did win a Conference League. The Europa League's the only trophy that's eluded them. There you go. So that is the experiment, ladies and gentlemen. We have seen Forest Green climb to the top of European football and absolutely dominate with the perfect team, even though they have the worst hidden attributes. So yeah, we are going to do a third part to this. Hopefully it'll be interesting. Hopefully it won't be as dominant as this. I don't think it will be. I think without the frozen attributes, I think they're going to deteriorate massively with their attitudes. We'll see. Until next time, gang, take care of yourselves. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Any ideas for future experiments or the third part to this, let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Take care, gang. I'll see you soon.